Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to my Beautiful Nights channel. For this video, I'm going to show you how to make a Tantric Mala. Now, I was asked by a subscriber if I can do a tutorial on a Tantric Mala. And I have done several prayer bead tutorials in the past on mala necklaces and bracelets, and I've also done rosaries. Now, if you have not seen my previous prayer bead tutorials, I will put links to all of those videos I have done down there below in the description bar, and I'm also going to put pictures up now of my previous prayer bead projects. Like I said, I was asked to do a tutorial on this Tantric Mala, and I guess it's a pretty rare mala design because I had to do research on this, and nobody shows how to make this type of mala necklace. There were no tutorials, there was no instructions. Only thing I could find was a pattern layout. Now, if you Google Tantric Mala or Tantric Mala patterns, you will see beautiful Tantric Malas all over the internet, and they are very, very expensive. They are like 3 and 4 times the amount money-wise compared to a regular 108 bead mala, and it is because there's a ton of work put into it, the amount of gemstones, a lot of materials. And so I found out in order to make this I have to use 416 beads. I couldn't find any tutorials or instructions on how to make this, but as you know, I have been beading for almost 30 years now, and I know how to make up designs and how to get around issues and stuff. So anyways, all I can find was a pattern layout. So this here, I googled Tantric Mala patterns and this popped up. I downloaded the picture to my phone and then I had printed it, and this is what I got. So I'm going off of this pattern here, and you will see several of these on the internet. This is the only pattern here. Now, when I saw this, I did not count the beads because I was already, when I did research, it said 416 beads. So when I saw that, I thought, oh my gosh, I need 416 either 4mm, 6mm, or 8mm beads, and you can use odd sizes in between if you want to. And so I realized I don't have 416 beads of the same bead and gemstones, and so I went shopping at my favorite place that I always go to when I make prayer beads because they sell things in bulk. I went to Beebeecraft, and so I will leave a link for Beebeecraft's website down there below in the description bar, and I'm also going to leave links to the beads that I got to do this project. If you did not see my haul video for this project, I will put a picture up now. You can also go and watch that video. I'm also going to put links to all of the beads that I am using to make these malas. The beads that I use in these here, and there's another mala that I have, and the third one that I'm working on in the video, and a fourth one. I actually have 4 that I'm doing for this video because I want to show you different color variations and all that. So anyways, I will leave links for the website and links for the materials down there below in the description bar, and I'm also going to leave a link for Beebeecraft's YouTube program. They have a program where if you are a YouTuber and if you have more than 100 subscribers, you can work with them and they will send you free materials in return for you to do videos for them. So that's how I'm doing this. It's actually really funny because I had was asked by my subscriber to do a video on this. I'm like, man, I need materials, and I think the best place to always go is Beebeecraft for this because they have so much bulk that you could buy. Also very affordable. I love their gemstones. And so they actually had contacted me like right after I thought about that. I thought it was crazy. Like the same day, or it was like that night they had contacted me. So yes, I will leave links for all this down there below in the description bar. And like I said, if you are a YouTuber, if you have more than 100 subscribers, check out their YouTube program, because it will really help your channel grow instead of, you know, putting so much money out to do projects like this. And it's just not jewelry making, they also have craft supplies. It will really help your YouTube channel out. Alright, by the way, if you do want to order from Beebeecraft, I have a coupon code for you, and the coupon code is BeautifulNights20. I'll put that up on the screen, and the coupon code will save you 10% off your whole order. Alright, so I will also put the coupon code down there below in the description bar. Let's talk about all the problems I had, so you guys don't have any of these problems and you are very successful in making this Tantric Mala. Now, when I got these beads, okay, I saw 416 beads. That's how many I needed. So I assumed, because when you look at this, I assumed that I needed 416 of the larger beads, because in traditional malas, 108 bead malas, you don't count the gaps in between, because usually it's a knot or a seed bead if you're doing a stringing one. And like even with rosaries, usually there's wire loops in between, and I did a knotted rosary, so you don't count the gaps in between. Makes sense, right? Boy, was I wrong. So when I got the beads in, I had to count you know, my beads to make sure I had enough. And so originally I was going to do like all of these here, the same bead, because it is different variation of color. I just wanted a whole mala with all of those rondelles right there. Well, I ended up realizing that would be way too darn confusing, because I am following this map. It's a map. Okay, it definitely is a map. And I would lose my place, and it was a pain in the butt. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to do 2 different colors, because that's what is here on this. So I thought, oh my gosh, I should do pearls. I have so darn many pearls. And so I went to count my pearls, which the first mala I made was actually this Citrine one here. And so, and it's actually a little bit smaller, and I'm going to go over that too, okay? So I made this one first, and luckily I had just enough beads, just enough pearls. I had 3 left over. And so this is the pattern, and I have another sheet of paper. This is my notes, and really I feel like these notes should permanently be on all of these patterns for everybody to know. So here are my notes. So I counted what I'm calling gold. They look gold to me, the gold beads, and there's 64 of them, okay? And then I counted the blue beads, and there's 128 of the blue ones. Now these are the larger beads, so these would be, depending on how big you want this mala to be, 4mm, 6mm, or 8, and you can use like 5mm if you want, like if you have that. It doesn't have to be exactly those sizes, because these pearls aren't exactly, you know, 3mm because of their natural shape. They are slightly off. Okay, so 64 gold and 128 of the blue. Now when I added those together, I did not get 416. So I ended up realizing I think they are counting the spaces in between, which you don't normally do in prayer beads. And so I tried just counting, you know, and the dogs were barking, and I just could not focus and concentrating on it. So I had to write it down. I got a pen, and I literally counted like a child, because I kept losing my place, all the way up to 224. And here's another thing. Most of the people that make these malas aren't making them continuous. What I can see, it looks like a lot of people are using like a magnetic clasp, which I don't know how, because these necklaces can get really heavy. Or maybe it's a barrel clasp that they're using, and the clasp will be here and here. Now I wanted this to be continuous, like most malas traditionally are, and so I had to add in that 24th bead. And right there's my counts. So you will need 64 of one color, that's the least color that you will have on the sides, 128 of, you know, the blue there, and then your spacer beads 224. Now I did not count these when I strung all this up. That's just crazy. I could not mentally handle counting 224 seed beads. I just, you know, made sure that I had them spaced in between all of my larger beads. So there are my notes on that, and all of those added together. Is that there? Okay. Now I did come up with another design, and I'm going to go over that in a bit. So that was one of the problems that I had, was the bead counts were screwy. Okay, so I had to figure that out because no one teaches how to do this. I had to figure it out on my own. Next thing is stringy material. So when I went to make this, I thought I'm going to do bead stringy wire. And I was like, well, I am using very tiny beads. These pearls here are very tiny holes. So I know I'll need a very thin bead string wire. So I went to my stash and I found extra small bead string wire. I don't remember what the number is, but it says on there the size is extra small. And I also have an extra small. So I don't remember if I actually used the extra or the extra small. But anyways, I cut up the amount I thought I would need, which was not the amount. It was totally off. And I tried making this up, and I was going along, and these beads would not slide down and touch each other like they are here. See how you can't see any thread? And so my bead string wire was exposed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. And I had a clasp and crimps and everything already on one end, and so I realized I have to use something flexible, because out of experience bead weaving before, I need a flexible string material. So bead string wire is not for this, but I am using 4 and 3 millimeter beads. If you are using larger beads, 5 millimeter rounds, 6 millimeter rounds, you probably will want to go with the bead string wire, and it should work. And I'm thinking the reason is because the beads are bigger, and you should probably use 8/0 seed beads instead of 11/0s, because you have to get the size proportionate right. So you probably would not have that problem with the bead string wire if you did, and I should put these notes down there below in the description bar, 8/0 seed beads with a 6 millimeter or 8/0 seed beads with an 8 millimeter bead. It should work with bead string wire, okay? But you will have to crimp the project. And I like to use crimps that match the seed beads that I'm using, so they are hidden. And so where I go to tie my knot at in this, that's probably where you would crimp your necklace. Or actually, you would put the crimp bead there, you would use a bead stopper, and you wouldn't crimp it until you got all the way around, because you have to put that tail into that crimp. So you would actually, I think, have 3 wires going through that crimp bead. I hope that makes sense. Alright, so I had to use thread, and I'm using an 8-pound thread here. This is just like Fireline. It's made by the same company, and that fixed the issue with the weird problem that I was having with the string material. Feel free to play around with your bead colors and the placement of your colors, because when I looked at pictures of this Tantric Mala, everybody was doing all different kinds of colors all mixed together. So it's not an exact rule that you have to use, 2 colors of your larger beads and 1 of your seed bead. So like, I will show you, of course, how to make this one in the video, because it makes sense. And if I played around with different colors and I showed you how to make that, then you guys would be confused. So I'm going to follow the colors that are in the pattern. But I had an idea, and I was having a bunch of issues creating this, but I really did want to do my own color placement, and so I had the idea to make the center, where there's only 1 row of beads, 1 color, and to do the doubled area, so where there's 2 rows of beads, so this would be 1 color, right, the center beads, and then the doubled areas, this would be a different color. And so I did that. And this is the necklace I came up with. Now this is the Pyrite that I got from Beebeecraft, and I also got this Apatite from Beebeecraft a while back. I did something with it. It was a necklace. I had these 2 colors, I put them together, and I did that. I have the center bead 1 color, and then the outer doubled rows with the Pyrite. And I kind of wish that it was more different, because to me it kind of blends together, it doesn't stand out. So I would like to actually do like rose quartz and Amazonite with bronze seed bead. But you can see the green, the Pyrite, green Pyrite, right? It's very pretty. So I will go over this pattern more at the end of this with you guys. Now here's the thing. So you have to, make it like I am here, and then play around your color layout, and it will be a little more confusing. Now here's the thing, this is really weird. I gotta show you this. It's weird. So those were my counts, right? So when I wanted to do that necklace where the center was one color and then the outer row was a different color, I counted my beads. And strangely, the gold beads here, there was 64. And if you do the center one color, there's going to be 64. And if you do the outer color, another color, it will be the same. 128. So these numbers are the same. I thought that was really bizarre. And of course your CB counts will be the same. But the amount of the same color, that's strange. The materials you need will vary depending on the bead size you choose. So I'm using 4mm amethyst and 4mm cherry quartz. And because they are so small, I have to use a thread. So I'm using 8-pound fireline. The color is crystal, which means white. And I have to use that because you could see it through this bead here. Now, like I said earlier, if you want to do larger beads like 6mm, 8mm, you can't use a thread. Your beads are so heavy, they will break this. So you will have to use bead string wire, the nylon coated stainless steel bead string wire. Alright, and you'll also have to use crimps. You're also going to need 11/0 seed beads. Now, in case you're new to this and you don't know much about metallic colors, I am using, for this project here, Miyuki Dark Bronze. It's my favorite color. It does not tarnish. I love this color so much. But my second favorite is this one here. This is also by Miyuki. I think it's called Nickel Silver, something nickel. It's called, made by Miyuki. It's a permanent finish. This bead is this color all the way through, just like this one. So if this breaks, you'll see the color inside, and if this breaks, you will also see the color inside, and they don't tarnish. They stay this color. Now, if you want gold seed beads, if you're going to stay with Miyuki, Miyuki has permanent metallic seed beads, and they are called Duracoat. So this one here, I did with Miyuki. Duracoat seed beads. Right here's the packaging. And by the way, I like to buy all of my seed beads at two different places: AuroraCrystals.com or ShipwreckBeads.com. And the reason why, they have huge varieties and colors. Also, they are cheaper than most places. Like, I've seen some places sell like a 9-gram tube for like $8, and that's just ridiculous. So I can get this stuff a lot cheaper. And look at how big. 50 grams, okay? So this is called Duracoat Galvanized Yellow Gold, and it's very yellow. It's like a 24 karat. And there is actually 24 karat seed beads. I don't recommend to buy them. They are so expensive. Just get the yellow gold because it pretty much is the same thing, okay? And again, Duracoat, permanent finish. Now the silver one, this is a dark nickel color, but there is a bright silver one, and I think that's called Labrador Full. I don't know if it has to say Duracoat or not. I don't remember. I would have to go into my stash. But if you want to do Toho's seed beads, their version of permanent metallic beads is actually called Perma Finish. So this one here, I didn't use any Toho, but this one here I did with cheapo seed beads. These are Silverline Gold, and I chose these because they are so bright with these dark beads, and it stood out. And so these have an elongated shape, kind of like the Toho seed beads. Alright, so I just picked those out of the crummy shaped beads I had because they were all kind of wacky looking, but I picked out the ones that looked uniform. Alright, so I think that's the information that I tell you on the seed beads. And you're also going to need a size 10 beading needle. Okay, and you won't need a needle if you're doing bead string wire because you use that as the needle. Again, I will list all of this down there below with my notes and a whole bunch of information. I'm going to follow my map and pick up one side of the beads, make a full-length necklace, knot it off because I am using thread, but if you're using bead string wire, instead of knotting it, you would pick up your crimp bead, which would be right down here. When you get all the way to the end of your map, you would pick up the crimp bead, and then you would come back here and do the other side. And so, like I said, I'm going to pick up one strand, I'm going to tie a knot, and then I'm going to stitch in the second row. I love doing it this way. It's so much more fun. Okay, so with this color pattern, what I really liked about it is I realized when I studied this, I have to start by picking up the gold, right? Well, this is what one finished side looks like. So I have to start by picking up, I think I did 6. Yeah, I did 6. Okay, so if you count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to pick up 6 of the purple. And in between, I will do the seed beads, in between all the larger beads. Okay, and then if you count this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Same here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to do seed beads in between all of the beads, but I will do 6 of the purple and then 10 of the cherry quartz and then back to 6 purple, 10 of the cherry quartz, and I have to do this, if you study the design, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't count this again because these two will be connected, so these are actually 8. Get what I'm saying? And then I have to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows of the cherry quartz. So you can, if you can remember, if you could pay attention, you can pick it up out of your trays. But what I actually like to do was lay the beads down. I just counted them. And also, if you have a necklace like, or beads like this here, where all the colors are slightly, like they're not the same color, right? I like to make a pattern, because see how there's different shades? And so I laid it on a bead board, or you can lay it onto your mat, whatever, and I just made sure that it looked kind of random, because sometimes the same exact colors touch. Get what I'm saying? I am back, and I have laid my beads out in the order that I need to pick them up, and I have to remember to put one seed bead in between all of these beads as I go. And remember, I went over this with you, and what I did is I have the purple, there's 6 of them, and I need 8 sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's 6 in one section, I have 8 of those, and then there's 10 of these in one section, and I have 8 rows of those. Okay, now here's the big thing, huge. We are not cutting any length of string material at all. We are working straight off the spool. There will become a point in this when I string up one whole side where I will show you how to measure your string so that when you get to the end you will not run out of string. And this method will work for any size bead, any length mala, tantric mala that you are making. You will not run out of string using my technique of how I do this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up my beads, and you don't want to start with a seed bead. You want to have a seed bead at the end because we will be tying a knot here. Alright, so I'm going to fast forward and I'm going to pick all of these beads up. Now I'm going to show you how to get the length perfect. So I already have all my beads strung up. Okay, I counted them. I made sure I didn't have extra seed beads because that's something that'll happen. You'll pick up an extra bead and it's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to lay this out on my desk. And what I'm going to do is I want about a 6 to 8 inch, maybe 8 inch, probably better, tail. I'm not measuring it. This is approximate. This is how I figure this out. Okay, so that looks about good. Okay, so I'm guessing maybe 6, 7, 8 inches. I unraveled my spool a whole bunch. So I lay this down. Don't worry about the needle. You don't hold on to the needle. You hold on to the end of the tail. Okay, and you lay your beads out in a straight line on your desk. And I can't show you this. I'm sorry. I'm going to try my best to explain it though. Okay, so I do have, like, all my beads have fallen down. So I hold it up. I lay it down, and then I take my left hand and I slide it down my thread, and I try to find about the same distance as this. Okay, so there it is, I would say. So now I'm going to bring it in to show you because I couldn't show you before. So I'm going to put both together. Okay, so I have, well, they're very close, look at that. So about this close in length on each side. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch my arm back out, and I have to find this tail here. Okay, I'm going to slide my fingers down this tail on the left side, And I just want to make sure that I have double the length, because this tail over here is now going to have to feed through all of the beads I just strung. So I'm stretching my arm out, okay, holding down here, and it looks like my beads have slid down a little bit, so I'm just going to readjust them so they're more centered. Okay, and let's see. Okay. I'm just making some adjustments, and this looks about good. So I'm making sure my string is straight. I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to bring together so you could see. It's ready to cut, but I just want to show you. So I held this place here. Okay, here's the fold. I'm going to hold this, and I'm just going to show you what I got. So they're very close in length, okay, and then I have this second loop of thread, and when I hold it on, or hold it up, it should be about there. So see that second loop of thread? So now if I cut it, I should have enough to go back through all of those beads, no matter what size bead I am using. So I'm going to open it back up, make sure it's right, because I'm bunching it all up now. But I believe it's ready to cut. Yes, it is. It looks great, okay? So now I'm going to cut it, and then I'll show you again, because now you could better see what all this excess thread here. Okay. Now find both tails. Okay, here's one tail. Here's the other tail, not holding the needles, just the tail. Okay, stretching this out. Okay, so I have two ends, the cut ends here, and I'm pulling this straight, and here is my beads with that extra thread, see it? And this is what it looks like all the way down here. I have it looped around my finger, okay? So I'm just going to put these two together like this. Hold on to this loop here. Okay, I'm going to hold this up. And I'm just doing this so you could see. You don't have to do all these things, but I'm just trying to make sure that you could see what I have here. Okay, so I have one end folded, the two cut ends. This is folded in half, basically twice. So you can see I have the beaded strand and this strand here that has no beads on it. Okay, so it's just like that. Now what I'm going to do is take the end that has the needle, okay, and I need to slide all of these beads down to the other side. Don't let them fall off. I want to leave like an 8-inch tail again, and I will measure this tail because I do want to make sure that I have a really good amount to finish this side off. And basically I'm just sliding all of these down to this side because I need a working tail, and right now it's backwards of what I need it to be. So I just slid all these beads down, and now I have all of this working tail over here on my right side. Okay. Here's my ruler. Find the 8-inch mark. And there it is. Okay. Hold here, and then take this side. Do I let my beads slid down? Yep, okay. And I'm going to hold this up, straight up in the air. Okay, and I'm shaking all these beads down so they're all slid down, they're all together, and there's no gaps. Now I'm going to tie a surgeon's knot. So I go over and under. Okay, so again, this tail here is on my left, and my working tail is on my right. All of this extra thread that will be going through beads, picking up beads and going through beads. So I just went over and under one time. Okay, pick this up, and now go over and under twice. 1 and 2. Be careful you don't catch a seed bead in your knot here, and just go like this in the loops, and then bring this down and pull this tight. Now you don't want this to be too tight because your thread will break. That's what I did. I'm telling you, I had several problems, but I had all these problems, so you don't have to have these problems. So learn from my mistakes. Okay, so what I do is I just do a little tug, just a little bit, and I have like 1/8 of an inch gap right there. That's enough slack to make it where when I add all these additional beads, it's relaxed, but there's no thread exposed. I hope that makes sense. And I do feel like it's still kind of adjustable as you go. Yeah, so I'm just going to hold it up and see how it looks. It looks good. Now don't be pulling on this throughout making this, because it will open up more. Alright, so now we're going to pick up the rest of our beads, and we have to go to our bead map. This is as high as my camera goes, and so my bead map takes up the entire frame. So what I did is I just cut the sides off, all that wasted space, and I folded it in half. Okay, and here I go. Now I can see it, you could see it, and I can work on this at the same time. So this is where I'm at. I'm right here. Right here is my knot before the seed bead, and I swore that I was going to be here. It might not end up being behind the seed bead, so I don't know how I did that. Anyways, doesn't matter. We're still going to go. So these purple beads are the gold ones, and the pink are the blue ones. Okay. Now the first thing I have to do is go through the first 2 beads. Now here's the thing. There's always a distraction. There's always a reason why I have to get up and leave to take the dog out to the bathroom, or for some reason answer the phone. There's no telling. Something will stop me from doing what I'm trying to do. So I needed a place marker, and I started out using a charm, and it was annoying because it kept sliding around, and so I realized, well, I'm just going to use this little frog here, and I'll point him in the direction that I'm going to go, and that should be like the best. And well, he's just the best little guy, and I've always loved the Muppets, and he looks like Kermit to me, so he's going to be my place marker. So right here is what we have to do next. So I'm going to take my needle, I'm going towards the, and I gotta tell you, this is the best board game I've ever played. Oh gosh, some of you probably think I'm weird. It's okay, I know you're weird too. So I'm gonna go through these here, and like I said, I thought the seed bead was gonna be back here with the purple, but it ended up not being like that. So I have to go through that seed bead because my knot is behind it, and then through those 2 beads. Okay, so go through like this, and I don't tie this tail off until the end. So leave that there, and now I have to pick up my beads. Okay, and I do want to hold this, but I feel like I should lay it down so you could see what I'm doing. So I'm right here. I have to pick up 4 of these, and I always have to start. Every time I go to pick up beads, I always have to start by picking up an 11-0. Okay, so I got one at my 11-0, and then I need 4 of this color, and I'm not going to show how to do this whole thing. I probably will fast forward. This is already long already, but I just wanted to be really thorough with this because I ran into a bunch of problems, and I wanted to make it easy for you guys. Okay, so there's my beads. They're going to go here, so I slide these down. Okay, slide them down. Pick this back up, and I have to lay this beside it like this, and I have to go through the 5th bead. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go through this bead. Okay, is that right? I'm moving all around here. Where am I coming out at? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I go through there. Okay, and then I just give it a little tug, and there I am. Okay, and now I'm gonna go to this one. So right here is my frog. I have to pick up 1 seed bead and 1 cherry quartz and 1 seed bead. Okay, so now I'm here, and if you look, I'm gonna go not through this one, but through the next bead. So if you are doing this just like me, let me know what you use as a place marker on your little board game, your bead map. And by the way, don't use round beads as a marker because they don't stay in place. Okay, I didn't try that, but just let you know they will roll around. So that's what I have now. Okay, So now I am up here, and look at this. The color is going to change on us. So I have to pick up a bronze, a cherry, bronze, and my purple, and a bronze. Okay, so that means I have to go through this one right here. So a cherry there, okay, and then I'll say grapes, cherries and grapes. Okay, so it matches. Now here's the thing, I'm going through here, I have to actually go through 4 of the purple beads now, so this will then get me over here. So I'm going to back out, and this is the place that's always the same, where you go through these 4 beads in the middle of the 6. Okay, so there's 4, that's what I picked up, and I'm going through 4. Okay, pulling all these through. And that's what it looks like. It's so cool. This is a really cool necklace. Okay, I'm right here. I have to pick up a seed bead, my grape, okay, and I'm gonna go through this pink one. So there I am. Now see, this one had 4, right? This one has 2. So now I am here. Okay, those 2 purple here. I have to pick up 4 of the pink. Okay, there's my 4 beads. Again, count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And right here through my 5th one. Just like that. Okay, I'm up here. And look at that. I should have looked ahead because I actually have to go through these 2. So through the seed bead and through that cherry quartz. I'm supposed to go through 2 cherry quartz. Like that. Pay attention because it does want to get loose on you as you go. And now I have to do 2 pink. So seed bead, cherry quartz, seed bead, and a cherry quartz and a seed bead. And I'm going to go through just that one. Okay, so I picked up 2. That means I have to skip 2, 1, 2, and go through this one. Okay, pull it tight. You'll always feel it back here. Get tight because it always gets loose in the back. And now I'm right here. So I have to do a purple. A seed bead, purple, and we're at that side wall on our board game. So I have to go through 4 beads. See, we just picked up this. We're going to go through 4. Right here. Okay, so like this. Okay, and again, pull it like this. Now see how I'm just holding on to one strand? I'm not pulling this apart because that will make it looser on me. Now at this point you can check to see what your tension is like. And it's pretty good. I still have that little space there that I will need to make this be supple in the end. Okay, so I just added this. I went through these 4 and look at this. We're changing up the pattern again. So I have to pick up a seed bead, 1 purple, seed bead, pink, seed bead, pink, seed bead, pink, and a seed bead. So 4 beads, but 1 will start with purple and then it goes into 3, and I'm only going to go through 1 bead there. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going through the 5th one. Okay. Just like that. Okay, I'm now here. 4, like that. Okay. So I went through all of those, and now I'm here. Now here's the thing. We have to add one more bead right here. So I actually have to go back over to this side. And if you look, when we started this, where's my tail end? Or should I say begin? Right here. Okay, we've now made it full circle. So we started right here. I went through these 2 beads, right? These 2 pink right here. And I was supposed to add a purple, but because of how it was in the past when I did these other ones with the pearls, it was best for me to start here with the knotting. So that's why I did it this way. So this is my tail. This one's my tail. Right here I am. Okay, I'm actually right here. This is where we started, going this way with one color. I'm right here. I have to pick up 1 seed bead, my last amethyst, and 1 seed bead. That one's too skinny. Like this. Slide those down. I'll pick this up. So see, this is our knot, and this is our working tail. So I'm going to skip over these beads, and I have to go through right here, these 2. Okay, this is my working tail. Skipping over seed bead, amethyst, seed bead, and go through these 2 pink. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this so I can pull this through like that. Pull this tight, and then pull your other tail tight like this, okay? And now we are ready to tie knots. And this here will keep loosening up, and, you know, until we get some knots tied. But that's how you do it. So as you know, we have 1 thread going this way, our working thread, and the short tail going this way. So I just pull the threads apart from each other, and what I do is I go up through this seed bead on the one side. Okay, pull it tight one last time, and I start tying knots. And what I like to do is I like to tie knots on the side that are doubled, so double beads. So I tie knots on this side, but when I go here I don't tie any knots because I don't want to clog up my holes. Make sense? So I'm going to go like this, make a loop, and pass through here. Now I do use most of this tail up because, dang it, I only went through one time. It's okay. Because it makes it stronger. It just makes it more durable. So I like to make things that last forever. So go underneath, pass through the loop twice, 1 and 2 times. Make sure that the knot falls where you need it to be, right here, and pull the knot down. Okay, so I just go up through the 2 beads. I always tie a knot in front of the larger bead. You can hide knots in 11-ohs, but why when you have beads that are bigger holes? So okay, just like that. Then I sew up through 2. Okay, now this is what I'm talking about. Tie a knot here. Okay, now when you get up to here, you're not going to tie a knot here through that, in front of that bead, because you will be clogging the hole up. So I just go up through the next one, then I go through the seed bead, and then I tie knots here. So I only tie knots on the sides, not in the center row. Does that make sense? Okay. And then after you use up most of your thread, and I go through almost maybe half of the necklace, I then go and take my needle off and I put it onto this side, and I do the same exact thing with this thread, but I'm going in the opposite direction. So I go into the purple not that way, but the opposite direction, tying my knots, trying to use up most of the thread, and I cut it off, and that is it. I wanted to show you something really interesting. So on this necklace that I made, where I had just the center beads be the apatite color, and then the outer beads be the pyrite, see? On this design, when I came up with this pattern here, I realized when we made the first one together, right, I showed you how there were 6 on this side, 8 on this side, okay, and I did that pattern. And then I referred back to the paper to do round 2. But with this one, you refer to the paper for round 1, right? And then when you go to do round 2, you don't have to look at the paper because you just copy what you have here. So coming out of the green bead, see that? I would just pick up one bead and go through the green. Okay, like this. So then I go through the green. Okay, and then I look at the next section, and I see that I have to pick up 4 pyrite. Okay, and then through 4 pyrite and through these 2 green. And there we go. How cool is that? I thought that was really neat how they're pretty much the same, but if you swap the color placement, that's how it works up. I hope that you guys enjoyed this Tantric Mala tutorial, and if you've not seen my other prayer bead tutorials, I will also link them down below. I'm going to link Beebeecraft down below. I'm going to link the beads that I got from them down below in case you want to go and get them. They are really gorgeous beads. And what else? Oh, I have notes, material lists. I have things that I might have forgot to say in this video. All of that will be posted down there below in the description bar. Oh, and one more thing. I am still collecting donations to get a new video camera, so if you enjoyed my work and you want to help me out and help me continue this YouTube channel, we are 12 years in, please feel free to donate. And there are a few different ways that you can donate. The first way is here. You can donate directly through YouTube. Bottom right corner of the video, there's the square which will make the video full screen, and below that you'll see a circle with 3 dots. If you click that, a bar will expand and you'll see the super thanks button there. It's a heart with a $sign in the middle, but the thing with donating that way is YouTube takes like 30% of what you give me. So I'm also going to have my Venmo and Cash App links down there below in the description bar. And so you can donate money through that way, and I will get all of it. Alright, so this is it. I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and make sure you click the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos, and follow me on my social media sites. I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, and X. Thanks for watching.